So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Burnt Offerings, 1976. This is going to be another Karen Black flick. And it's also a Dan Curtis movie. It's the first Dan Curtis movie that I've seen, other than House of Dark Shadows and Night of Dark Shadows. So this is what Dark Shadows would look like if if Dan Curtis hadn't run out of ideas. Damn him. Anyways, Dan Curtis made a bunch of movies after Dark Shadows. A couple of them are with Jack Palance. I've seen the trailers, but I've never actually sat through one until now. It's like 2 hours long, this movie. And it's based on a novel. So, I guess by this time Dan Curtis was picking up novels for his ideas. And Oliver Reed is also in this one. Burgess, Meredith. Bunch of Bette Davis, bunch of big name actors. Pretty cool flick. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars. It does get a little tedious, the build up. But the ending is pretty dang good. A lot like The Brood, which Oliver Reed was also in. So, yeah, I have to give this one 5 out of 5 stars. There's also a creepy looking chauffeur, kind of weird stuff going on in this movie. There's a swimming pool that kind of possesses people, forces them to drown or makes them misbehave. And then there's like a green room garden area with a bunch of dead plants that somehow come to life on their own. So Burgess Meredith is renting out this estate that looks like the old house in Dark Shadows. And they even call the kid Davy, which is what Burt Devlin used to call David Collins. So I'm at work. Hopefully there are no cars pulling up anytime soon. They're just kind of passing by here. Anyways. So Burgess Meredith is eager to rent out this estate super cheap to Oliver Reed and Karen Black and Bette Davis and the kid. For the summer, it's like $900 for the summer, but Karen Black has to take care of Mrs. Allardyce, who's in this mysterious locked room. So weird stuff happens. Oliver Reed almost drowns his son because I guess the swimming pool possesses him to roughhouse his son to the point of almost drowning him. Then Karen Black starts acting all weird and evil, like she's losing her mind because she's being possessed by Miss Allardyce. I don't want to spoil the ending too much, but pretty cool ending. Bette Davis plays the aunt. She dies in the middle of the movie. We don't know how she dies. She just slowly losing her health. She wants to sleep all the time and stuff. Normally she's a vivacious 75-year-old, but this house is just beating her down somehow. And Davy almost gets suffocated from being locked up, and the gas heater is leaking. So there's stuff like that going on throughout the movie. It's rather ho-hum, if you ask me. reminded me a lot of Night of Dark Shadows. The most of the movie, except for the last 10 minutes, which is pretty dang good. Karen Black is pretty creepy in this. So is the chauffeur, and that's one of those creature features from the mid-70s. Definitely worth checking out. Highly recommended. I know there's a trailer. I'll post it in the description box when I get around to it. Hopefully today, but I don't know. I don't know what time the next valet guy is coming, and if it's the guy who used to come, he's always hella late, like 20 minutes late. Now I gotta pick up my son at 9 a.m. He's gonna be stoked because I bought him a Lego set, Hulk versus Red Hulk, at Hillsdale Mall earlier yesterday, and yeah, it's pretty dang hot in San Francisco today. Record heat. And all these women are like hardly dressed in anything. In fact, one of them is walking down the street right now. And anyways, I took off my jacket because it was getting a little ridiculous. I don't understand how it could be 70 degrees now and 70 degrees later today, because I thought the heat wave was supposed to be over, the record heat, the heat advisory, whatever they're calling it. So, yeah. Great flick. It's written, directed, produced by Dan Curtis, and it's got the Robert Cobert music, which sounds a lot like Dark Shadows, especially towards the end scene, which is absolutely magnificent. Slow build up to the climax, I guess you could say, sort of like The Brood, which I loved also. And yeah, no cars pulling up, cool. Anyways, I'll watch the bonus features, probably a bunch of Dan Curtis movie trailers with Jack Palance in it. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Definitely worth watching. Highly recommended. Check it out. Laters.